Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to a new edition, week 4 of the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk Live, streaming on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm Shawn Xavier alongside my man, the storyteller, man. We back here again. Thank you for waking up to the pregame, man. Of course, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seat Podcast. And subscribe to that YouTube channel, man, the Hot Seat Podcast, where you're watching us right now. Thank you for joining us. Pardon our lateness, but, hey, we doing this all our stuff.
You know what it is.
We doing this all ourselves. We ain't got nobody setting us up. Ain't no green room. We are the green room. What's going on, man? How we doing? How we feeling?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I know this is football talk, but I just... I'm paying attention to this Riders Cup, and we are just getting our butts kicked out here. If y'all know about golf, so maybe football will bring me up because this Ryder Cup ain't doing it.
Yep. It's a big week, man, in football in general. Mm-hmm. We'll get to the NFL side, but you also get in. We're around for the college side. We're around week 5 for them. They start a week before NFL, and around this time is where who is who. You usually can't take a lot from the first week unless it's such in a dominant fashion that your Georgias are out there. You got some of your surprise teams like your Texas out there. I don't know if they're surprised, but they are still undefeated. They knew where USC was coming in. We'll talk about them in a few moments. Some other teams in there as well. You had your Notre Dames up there, your Florida States and such.
Thanks, LSU. Keep going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Teams are still filling their way out, man. But at the end of the day, even with it being college, as much as we put these young men on a pedestal and want to catapult them into the NFL, as Deion Sanders would say, they still babies in a lot of rights. Not everybody there is 22, 23 years old with a full-grown, man's body. Some of those guys are 18, 19 years old, and they still thinking they playing high school ball, to be perfectly honest. So it depends on where you go, depends on where you go in this case. But let's go right into it, man. The game, I don't know if it got as much hype as the game prior because, of course, Colorado was going in undefeated when they went and faced off against Oregon last week. But this week was a big game in my eyes, a lot of people's eyes, is what the two quarterbacks were going to look like. Shedeur Sanders, who had been thrown into the Heisman conversation off of his play. And of course, you have the reigning Heisman winner and potential Heisman winner again, in this case, Caleb Williams. And the game itself, I had to go back and kind of watch parts of the game because I missed it live. Because I'm going through and I'm seeing that USC was putting the foot the ass at the beginning. And then I stepped
2 halves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I took there and I look back and I'm like, wait a minute. Colorado's making this a game without 2 of their best players. I think Shallow didn't play, if I'm correct. And of course, you had Travis Hunter, who's out with the lacerated liver, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if it's just a coincidence, really. But they both are out with kidney injuries or liver injuries. I think lacerated kidney or liver, one of the two. But they both are out with the same injury, similar,
right?
Which is wild.
Right.
What'd you take away from the game, man? Really?
Well, there's a couple different ways to look at it. I'll go from both sides. So let's deal with Colorado first.
Right.
Colorado showed a lot of heart in that second half. If you saw the game, they definitely had their pride on the line because if they would have got, not beat but blown out 2 weeks in a row,
right?
Then a lot of people would have had something to say. This one was very much respectable.
Okay.
Shedeur was moving out of the pocket more. He was getting rid of the ball faster. Earl and I was talking about that offline.
Right.
So if you knew one knock on Shedeur was the fact that he was holding on to the ball too long.
Yeah.
And not to the point of where you're throwing interceptions and stuff. I'm talking to the part of the pocket collapsing. You already have a weak offensive line. So you don't have more than 3 seconds. You don't have that luxury that some other people have. So you got to have that clock in your mind to know, okay, I got to get out of here, or I got to get this ball at least out of my hands in that sense, as far as throwing it off. So it seemed like he was more in tune with that, okay, let me make something happen, whether it was running or whether it was getting rid of it. So that was one thing. Offensive line, even though they're not it, don't take it wrong, they're not it, but they look better than they did against Oregon.
Yes, they did.
Better against that type of line that USC is supposed to have, and I'll get into that in a second. I know they found a gem. I don't know if anybody paid attention to that game and saw this new guy out there, Miller. Receiving core. Earl
Yes.
and I were discussing this offline. If you take this guy Miller, and then you got Weaver, you got Horn, and then you got Travis Hunter when he comes back, that receiving core is stacked. And Travis Hunter doesn't even have to be out there like that on every single down and stuff like that. This guy Miller, legit. And I think he was 4-star coming in as far as recruit. And he was all a 5-star yesterday. Just put it that way. I kind of want to wait for Earl for one part of it, but I'll just mention it. We will dive into the freaking last drive because play calling is key.
Yes.
And if you saw how this play calling was for Colorado to pull it within a touchdown, it's about 4 or 5 minutes on the clock. And this offensive coordinator is calling run plays, not just run plays, not out to the side sweeps to run out of bounds. I'm talking about draws, straight up. It just was throwing me off because even if you're tackled immediately, it's going to take a certain amount of time to, like I say, let's see. Let's say there's 5 minutes. It's about 40 seconds, I think they were saying, for each play. You know, somebody to get up off you, line up, get your play in. It was just weird to me. It was so, lack of urgency, Gary. It was just so weird. I'm like, are you playing to lose? Because they couldn't stop their offense at the time.
They couldn't. They could not.
Throwing me off, man. It was throwing me off. But I'll leave that on the Colorado side. On the USC side, they got to figure out that defense, man.
Yes.
This is one of those ones that, okay, we already knew who Caleb Williams was. But if you're talking about one of these top-notch teams and you want to put yourself in that conversation, but you got Colorado scoring 41 points on you, like what happens when you go against some of these other teams? You're not going to stop them at all.
Right.
And they're going to have a couple stops on Caleb Williams. So that pretty much opened up the eyes of a lot of people as far as their defense. We already didn't think their defense was all that, but wow, that second half was different over there.
Yeah.
What did you get from it?
So to you, I'm going right to what you were saying there. And this was why I was so, and again, I'm not part of the committee because I would probably be the guy in the room when it comes to AP
kicking
polls
everybody out.
and kicking everybody out because I'm saying you guys are stupid. And I was so adamant about Colorado moving up. You know, I lost that bet, moving up to a 15 and they dropped down. And then I know people are like, well, look at the competition and stuff like that. So I want to name you off. Now, mind you, USC is ranked in the top 10. And they were talking about Colorado's, their competition compared to where everybody else is. So, of course, Colorado wins that first game. They start off the season against a ranked TCU. Ranked is ranked. They beat them. They automatically put them in at, I think it's 17s where they put them in, or 18s, one of the two. 18s was. But anyway, so, of course, USC, this is USC's teams that they played. San Jose State, Nevada, Stanford, Arizona State, and then Colorado. They beat San Jose State 56-28, Nevada 66-14, Stanford 56-10, and Arizona State 42-28. Where's the competition there? Like, I'm confused. Like, where's the competition in that point? And then the team that they went up against, who was not ranked, that got taken out. Now, after the Oregon loss, I got it. But they dropped after they beat Colorado State, which is crazy. But they barely beat this team 48-41 in Colorado. And to your point, if it wasn't for the offensive coordinator, like he was kind of wetting the bed, like he ain't really know how to work this whole coaching thing.
It was weird, bro. It was very weird.
They could have easily lost this game. Easily have lost this game. So
if Colorado would have woke up in the first half, they would have lost the game.
Right. So I'm curious to see what this does to USC's ranking. Do they move up? or because they were like, well, you played an unranked Colorado. But at the same time, Colorado went in and went up against a top 10 team that do they not get a look in, perhaps, even though they lost? Maybe not. It probably won't happen because, they are 3-2. But you got to look at the way that they rank the teams, because I also feel like a lot of this stuff is used to hype a game, to sell a game. Because look at after the first 2, maybe 3 weeks, actually after the first week, Shedeur Sanders wasn't even thought about to having been any type of Heisman hopeful. After that first game against TCU and then the second game, hell, he's thrown right into it. And then after the game they played against Colorado State and then losing to Oregon, they were like, maybe we were too early on that. So I want to show you guys something in this case. And we're just gonna put a little bit of respect on Shadeur's name, because he's well worth the Heisman hype that he's getting. Right now, he's number 2 behind Michael Penix out of up in Washington. Okay. But this is Shedeur Sanders' numbers on the season. He's second in passing yards at 1781, 74.8 complete percentage, 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 25 sacks. He is tied for the most in the FBS. So that's something, to your point, that OC did better this game. Understand what you got. I feel like Shedeur might have gave Tom a call, and Tom gave him a call and said, hey, look, get rid of the ball. Just take what the defense gives you. And don't try to prove that you can be a pocket passer. Bro, you're completing damn near 75%. I think they know that you can throw the ball. Use your legs. Go stuff like that. In comparison to your Heisman winning and potential repeat Heisman winner, Caleb Williams. Now, you can take it for what it is. This is his almost exact same. Minus the sacks, he has about 1,000 yards less passing, about the same on completion percentage, same touchdowns, interceptions. It's a difference of 1. And on top of that, which I didn't know this, if you watch on the field, you would think that Caleb Williams was a lot bigger in stature than what he is. Thank you, Malik. I got to come with the numbers. I have to. Caleb Williams is all but 6'1", 215. Shedeur Sanders is all but 6'1", 215. They are the exact same measurements. Now, when you say measurements, you don't know what that really means, because how they be kind of fluffing the numbers. Just ask Bryce Young coming out of Alabama. I swear we and him the same height. I swear.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot.
Right, absolutely. So
shut up, man. Don't come in here like that.
Morning, Earl. So that's the question. And I want to get your take on this as well. We were talking about the score, Earl, and I know you and Dave watched the game. I watched it after the fact. But the thing I wanted to point out was more so on the Shedeur Sanders side, and like how some people the media started to slight or turn down the notches on his Heisman candidacy. He's actually in the top 5 for Heisman hopefuls at quarterback. But I was just showing, I'm going to show those numbers again. These are Shadeur's numbers on the season. He leads the league, unfortunately, with the most sacks taken.
You professional.
I am. But the guy he played up against yesterday has all the height, which I just said that they are both measured the same, 6'1", 215. This is Caleb Williams. Same numbers. Take the sacks out of it. Same numbers, really. And Shedeur has him about 1,000 yards. And Shedeur is actually second in the FBS in passing overall in yardage. Yeah.
So, I was talking to my boy DJ. We was texting back and forth yesterday, because we talk about this a lot. And I said, actually, that was my first time seeing Caleb Williams play,
Right.
And I was impressed. Like, what I'm saying, he's a dog. Like, when he's out of the pocket, that's when he's his most dangerous. For me, after that performance, and he had a very good performance. After that performance, I can't say, in my opinion, that he is the number. Like, he's arguably number 1, but I gotta put Shedeur in there as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, Shedeur has the same tangibles. I actually think he's taller than Caleb. I think Caleb is more of 6 feet, and I think Shedeur is a little bit. I think he's closer to 6'3". I think he's about 6'2" and some change.
And they underselling him then. They got him listed at 6'1", but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I think he's at least 6'2". Okay. But you know what I'm saying? But he has the nice size. He can throw in the pocket. I mean, throwing the pocket. He's a pocket passer. He can throw on the run. My only issue with him is he holds on to the ball too long. But yeah,
what Dave was saying. Yep.
But I think I really feel like he's a top. Him and Caleb could be interchangeable at number one. I think we just got to wait to see what happens down the road. But I think they could be number one. But I really feel like Shedeur is that guy. He ain't coming out this season, which could hurt or help him. It just depends. All it takes is for one little slip up or one little injury to mess everything up. But if he stays on this trajectory, he might need to have a different conversation with his pops and say, "Hey, look, you might need to let me go spread my wings."
Well, here's the other thing that people got to realize. Imagine, and this is not a knock on Deion, but he is who he is. Imagine if Shedeur was over there at USC underneath Lincoln Riley, who is one of those quarterback whisperers.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterbacks go to play underneath Lincoln Riley to win a Heisman. That's what they do.
Absolutely.
You're talking Kyler Murray. You're talking who is it? Baker Mayfield. You're talking Jalen Hurts. You're talking Caleb Williams. They go there because they know what type of coach he is. So that's not a knock on Deion. You know what Deion is, just like Earl was saying in the past show. Cornerbacks and stuff like that, they go there because they know they're playing underneath the best of all time. People go underneath Lincoln Riley as far as coaching wise because they know that he's a quarterback whisperer. So imagine if the stats are like this. Imagine if the table switched.
Yeah.
Would you know about Caleb Williams? Not to knock him, but would you know about him at Colorado? And how much more would you know about Shedeur Sanders? Take away the name if he was at USC.
You would know about him because Deion is there. Are you saying if Deion wasn't?
No. Yeah, take away the name because you first know about Shedeur because he's Deion's son, and then you start paying attention, and then you're like, oh shit, okay, he's really doing something out here. Where let's say you take that whole namesake out, and you have a cornerback coach over here, a defensive coach minded over here, and then you have the quarterback whisperer over here, and you throw Shedeur over there.
Yeah. I mean, imagine. You know what? I'm not going to take nothing away and say we won't know. But what I will say
on Caleb's sense, but would he be?
I will say. Well, I'll say this: if he has weapons around him, then doesn't matter where he goes, you're gonna know. But if he doesn't have any, because the quarterback is only as good as the weapons that he has around. You know what I'm saying?
And that's as big as that drafting in the NFL. A lot of these quarterbacks that win in college when they switch to that NFL and you're that first pick, exactly, you're on that team that has nothing.
But I believe,
and then they push you to play right off the bat that first year.
But
Bryce Young.
I'm gonna put Shedeur a little bit higher because remember he was at Jackson.
But that's what I'm saying to you.
No knock on them, but it wasn't the same. Like he had some receivers because he had Travis Hunter. You know what I'm saying? He had a couple other cats that could have played, at a higher conference, but he was doing it with lesser caliber players, and he was putting up Heisman numbers, but it was just they wasn't going to give him the respect because of the conference that he was in. Now he's doing the same thing with weapons in the higher conference. It's a different conversation.
I'm gonna tell you a conversation that's going to need to be had, and this is the job of the NFL when it comes to hyping up these players. The talent is obviously there with Caleb Williams. It's obviously there. True.
He's different.
He is different. The conversation around Caleb Williams may change as they get closer to the combine. And what I mean by that is that all the intangibles are there, but you also know that the measurements are an issue. And if he goes to a situation where they don't utilize him in a way where they're rolling him out and they're forcing him to stand back in the pocket, he's going to struggle. Because again, like to your point, Earl, he may be closer to 6 foot. And the average quarterback height in the NFL is about 6'2.5". Right now, the only guys who are really doing well, but you got to look at the team that's around them. But again, he's built different. It's like a Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is right around that 6'1" size on there, But of course, we know he's built like a small tank, great arm, but they use him the right way, and he has a nice team around him. You got somebody, look at Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is all but 5'10", bro. And it was fine for that moment until they got tape on him. Now he's out injured. Bryce Young just missed the game, and you see what's going on there. So this undersized player that everybody's hyped around, which give him his just due, but hey.
Hit on that last statement. Pull that back up.
Which one? Oh, yeah. I got you. Yeah.
The only thing different about that is that nobody expected anything in Tom Brady.
Right.
I'm a Michigan fan telling you that. Tom Brady didn't get drafted, and they were like, "Oh shit, we about to change the game."
you about to play on the practice squad, buddy.
When you don't have that expectation, it's a little different. When you're coming in and you're thrown in that mix, and Tom Brady's different. Let's just be real.
Yeah,
Tom Brady is different, especially the mental side of things.
Yeah.
But when you're thrown in and that expectation is up there, and nowadays where they don't nurture you at all, they don't build you up, they just throw you in there because you're on a team that basically has no quarterback. It's do or die. Like they're done. Their career could be done within the first 2 years. It's a wrap.
But I also disagree with this statement too, because first of all, Tom Brady has never not had a receiving core around him. You know what I'm saying? So like
he's never not had.
Yeah. When has he not had receivers around? He's always had pretty decent receivers. Please explain to me when he didn't have good receivers.
Well, I don't know if you want to. Well, I guess it's kind
of. I'm not talking. I'm not talking.
Mind blowing receivers.
No, but I'm not talking. No. I'm not talking. See, that's the difference. I'm not talking about superstars. I'm talking about receivers. At the end of the day, is you don't got to be a Randy Moss, but it's like, are you effective? You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like he's always had receivers that did what they're supposed to do, like that. You know, like just perfect example. Like when the Giants had Ike Hilliard, Joe Jurevicius, and Monty Tuma, right? They are not superstar receivers at all, but they do their job. You understand what I'm saying? So my thing is,
that's how competent receivers. And
he has receivers honestly too. Like I mean, you got Wes Welker, you got Amendola, you got I mean Moss was an outlier, you know.
Right.
But he's had every place he's gone, he's had receivers. So I'm like, now I would love to see what he do when you put him with like some Giants receivers. You know what I'm saying? When you put him with that group,
we don't have receivers, bro.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. He's always had and to take it a step farther, Tom Brady has always had a tight end too.
That's one thing.
Well, that's his safety. That's his safety.
But that's what I'm saying. So he hasn't played with cats. He hasn't had he hasn't had the luxury of saying, you know what, I didn't play with incompetent receivers. Like, nah, right. He always had a group of receivers. I'm talking about not one. He had a group of receivers.
I'll put it this way, Earl. He is the one that, even though they were competent, but he actually held those receivers accountable. Like he was one of those cats. Like he may not have punched somebody in the face like a Michael Jordan did Steve Kerr, but like when Tom stepped out there, Tom, look, now you see all the stuff as later in his career, stuff like that. When he's fired up, like those players know that like Tom will get in their ass. A lot of these quarterbacks don't have that cachet. Kirk Cousins can't go do that out in Minnesota.
And you're right. You're right.
How his stats look. Yeah.
There was an expectation. I mean, he does have like the Jordan effect where, you know what I'm saying? Like Jordan, whether good or even if you disagree with his methods, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not trying to be your friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the best out of you so that we can win because that's all I care about. I think Tom Brady had that same mentality. So, yeah, you do have to have that it factor, but you also still need to have receivers who have some skill set. And what I'm saying is at the end of the day, he's always had a core of receivers that has something to work with. You understand?
See, we had this conversation the other week when Mahomes had to play with basically the Giants receivers. We were like, yeah, that don't look.
Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. Now, you saw that first game, right? The first game when they ain't have Travis Kelce, and they have a gang of receivers. But honestly, outside of Travis Kelce, can't nobody tell me who his number two is. You know what I'm saying? It's you can't say it's Tony. It's Tony. It ain't. You know what I'm saying? You can't say it's Vandell Scant. It ain't. it switches. It looked like it was Rice one week, it switches. You know what I'm saying? So they got a gang of receivers, but you just showed that it doesn't matter because he was doing his job. He was laying it on there. But at the end of the day, it was like, yo, he didn't have nobody that was competent. That was like, yo, it was cats dropping passes that was in their hands, dropping passes. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like, he's probably arguably the best quarterback in the league. Can we say that? And you saw what
he is.
Yeah,
I don't got no arguably around.
All right, so he's the best quarterback in the league, and you saw what he did with the caliber of receivers, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, and that's why I say I disagree with that statement about the QB is only as good as receiver. No, the QB is as good as your receivers. You know what I'm saying? Now you can accentuate them, and you can elevate their play depending on depending on the the mentality and the type of person you are, but you still need receivers that's going to do their job.
That's what we're saying.
Got you.
No. I'm sorry from the comment. That's what we're saying.
Because we got off the track a little bit. We got to. Say we got on there. Now he's a one that a former Giant that was dropping the ball. True story. Facts.
Wasn't that a former? Yeah,
that dropped the ball.
Why wasn't really Earl looking over like he looking over the fence?
No, because I got two.
What you got to say? Huh? So let's make full circles, man. So we started off and bringing it back to Shador and them, man. Like he's well worth the Heisman hype, and they were on their way damn near. If it wasn't for the OC, potentially upset of a team, and that conversation would have been crazy. So speaking of upsets, we can go from upsets if it's upset your betting line, or if it's some teams that upset you this weekend. So we had a couple of teams out there, man. I think, yeah, I know. Yeah, Ole Miss and LSU. LSU, first of all, LSU, I thought they got it right. After that first week, they took that ass whooping from from Florida that first week. And they won a couple of games, but then they ran up against Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, and these guys gave them that work. And I don't know, man. It's like the teams that were like really dominant, LSU's, your Alabamas, those guys, they kind of like taking a back seat to your Georgias. Now your Texas in there, Ole Miss, they're always in the mix. And then you got a 5-0 Kentucky team out there too that's ain't ranked, and we know them for being a basketball school. And I'll be damned, they undefeated. So the SEC has been shaken up. And then you got some of us who
Duke was holding in there too.
Yeah. They were. And then for a moment, I thought that it started off like that. That's what I told Dave. But then Penn State pulled away. But Northwestern was giving Penn State a little bit of tussle, and then that went sideways. But yeah, man, what was your biggest upset of the weekend, man, of college side? Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Well, they talk about me now with the betting. So good old LSU. After people that told me that are on the screen right now, they were weary about this team. I took LSU to win that game, and straight money line. It didn't happen, but my ticket was already blown because I messed up beforehand, and I did something that I didn't mean to do, and I took the spread for Georgia, and I just meant to take the money line, and they didn't cover the spread. So my ticket was already gone. So actually, that LSU game made me feel better because I would have lost the ticket anyway. If you get what I mean. If LSU would have won and I would have lost because I pressed the wrong button on Georgia, I would have been pissed off. So actually, guys was looking out. The betting guys were looking out there. But yeah, it's different out here. Vegas knows, man. Vegas knows more times than not how they put these spreads and stuff together. That's why Earl doesn't do it.
I just want to apologize. Yeah, I don't play. Yeah, I just want to apologize, Dave, because I missed your phone call. Because after the fact, I told you. You remember? I said,
"Yep."
I said, I don't know why you. I don't know why you had picked.
He was saying no also. Rashawn was like, nah, man, you should have done it.
I told him on the phone, and he said he put it in. I said, yeah, LSU ain't LSU. They ain't been LSU. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, and as we saw, they dude could have caught it, but the fact that it came down to that against hit him in the hands, I think my biggest upset, it wasn't even that. My biggest upset was the fact that I should have took the spread on Colorado, and something told me to. I knew they was gonna lose, but I was like, maybe after the A whooping that they took last week, all right, they not giving up 21 points, like not a 21-point deficit. And then by the first quarter, I was like, you know what? I'm glad I didn't. And then I said, oh shoot, they fighting back. They fighting back. And then I'm like, oh snap, they fighting back. You know.
Yeah.
And, but then I don't know if we're gonna go to this, but I'm you know what I'm upset about? I'm upset with that old coordinator, Shawn Lewis from Colorado. That's what I'm upset about.
We spoke about it, but you might as well get yours.
Yeah,
in.
just give me like 1 minute.
Go ahead.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Dion needs to pull him into the office because it almost feels as if like they were giving up. And they were giving up during the time when they actually had the momentum. Like they took USC's heart and then they pulled back. I don't know why they did that. You have no timeouts left, but you're calling running plays. You probably took that last series that they scored the touchdown on. He probably took unnecessarily maybe 3 minutes off of that clock. You know what I'm saying? Which could have helped them. You know what I'm saying? Which could have helped them and at least left them with at least a minute and a half. You know what I'm saying? Had they got to stop, could have
left. Would have left them with enough time so
to at least
USC
try.
didn't have to down the ball. They
right.
Had to get a first down.
They'd have had to get a first down. Like give them a fighting chance. And my thing is like your play calling, it didn't make sense. Like you were wasting a lot of time. You know, it was. You know what it was. You know what it felt like. You know, and it was triggering. I felt like that was Kevin Gilbride calling plays, bro. Like that,
I met Coach one time. I met him in the airport. He's kind of cool.
Yeah, he might be cool, but he's triggering. Like I felt like it was times when I'm like, yo, why are we not throwing the ball? And Kevin Gilbride is running. He's running, and that's what Shawn Lewis was doing. I was like, oh my goodness, bro. Like. You have weapons. You have a kid over here who they didn't game plan for, Miller, who was kicking ass. Yep. Keep feeding him the ball. And then eventually, if they make the adjustment and they got to put two men on them, you still got Weaver and Horn that's going to get open. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, or you got the tight end. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, or you could use Edwards. Like you're opening up the field. But my thing is, it's like, and you have all of these talented players, bro. You should have probably one of the most creative. You should have an Andy Reid type of playbook. Like you should have one of the most creative playbooks because you have so much talent that you can utilize and interchange these players. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm upset about. I'm done. And with that, I am complete.
My one upset, and this is not even my squad. My Miami Hurricane guys had the week off this week, but I'm upset that this team is not getting their just due it. Maybe they will after the AP.
Interesting.
The AP one's on it. I like it. The Maryland Terrapins, man. Maryland is currently 5-0 in the Big Ten, bro. They are 5-0, and what is there to talk about? I guess we're gonna see. They were a very, very, very competitive team last year. They're not even ranked currently. So not only am I upset that, I'm upset with that whoever does these polls, because I think these polls are ass, to say the least. I looked at the schedule for USC, and their quarterback is good. Besides that, they are not worthy of that number 8. They are not. They have beat a bad Nevada team and a Stanford team that the same thing that Oregon did. Oregon is ranked behind them. And then they damn near lost to a Colorado team that Oregon just ran through. Now we might say that the hype around that might have been a lot, and it kind of like took the air out of the room, or they were just mismatched. But the AP folks, if it's in a computer, whatever, redo that shit, because none of this stuff makes sense. It's teams ranked that probably shouldn't, but I guess it'll all shake out in the end.
But
it's going to end up
being you know what I like?
Somebody else. Yeah.
This is a year where you can't call it.
You can't.
You know how normally we have like that 5 that we're like, yep, this is gonna be it. No matter what happens, it's not like that this year.
And this is why I like them going to the expanded playoff format, because there's probably gonna be some teams this year that maybe only have one loss. It may be some undefeated teams that don't even break the top 15, and they won't get a chance to get into the playoffs. So I do like the fact you got, like I said, you got your Kentuckys, you got your Marylands, if they, something like that. But again, they will have to beat the Big Ten. It's just weird how this thing shakes out. So we'll see. We'll see, man. Mm-hmm. So, of course, it's the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk live, streaming on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Thank you guys for waking up to the wake up, or to the pregame to the wake up, or the pregame to the pregame, or however I say that shit. I don't know. It's point, man. It's early morning. It might be the mimosa I'm having. It's cool. It's cool. Make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube at the Hot Seat Podcast. So it's week 4 of the NFL, and we started off Thursday night with a game that it was a really good game, I guess, if you look at it. Yeah, that's kind of stupid too. I don't know what's going on. That portion. Well, so we came into the game. It was a legacy game, I guess you want to call it. The Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers, with the Lions coming out on top, and it begs the question. They are who they thought we were. They were in this case. There's a classic line came from Denny Green after his Arizona Cardinals were back in I think it was 06, I think it was 05, 06, when they were beating the Chicago Bears by like 20 points, and then Chicago came back and won that game like 24-23. It was like a really close game. And he went off on the press, and it's like a classic line. But that being the case, man, I guess let's talk about like that Thursday night game real quickly. The Lions, are they who they thought they were? I know one player on there is, and that's Dave's beloved, Aiden Hutchinson. We know who that is. But the team as a whole, man, they went from biting kneecaps and being like a media darling to like dead ass. They a solid squad, bro. What y'all got, man?
You got it, Earl? Or you?
So, first of all, man, respect to Detroit, man. I saw it. I saw it last year. What they could be. And then they got Dan Campbell. I mean, Dan Campbell he's that type of personality. You know what I mean? He's gonna bring the best out of his team. He's a player's coach, in my opinion. So he got a certain way of electrifying, people around. I mean, he was like that when he was with the Giants. He's just that type of guy. But also too, I think the biggest thing is Detroit has finally put the correct personnel. Like, shout out to Detroit for getting the correct personnel on both sides of the ball. Like, their defense is very good, it's formidable.
Mm-hmm.
And then their offense is good. Like, Goff, I'm happy for him, because Goff was about to be a season or a couple of games away from just being a backup and a bust. But now he got his second chance, and they surrounded him with weapons. Like, they honestly speak, I mean, you got St. Brown. Mm-hmm. Their tight end Laporta is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You have I'm drawing a blank from the other wide receivers, but they got receivers. You got a two-headed monster running back.
They only using one right now.
Yeah, they're only using one, but you got Gibbs and Ty Montgomery. You know what I'm saying? Your offensive line is straight.
Yep.
Then you go to the defense. You got a stud on that front seven, and you got a dog. You got a couple dogs in your secondary. One that got injured. Hopefully he come back. With Gardner, hopefully he be back. But I mean, they and Breach, I think, kid from Alabama, I think. Branch. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep messing up his name. But they a problem. So now I can't even say, like, I'm excited that when Thanksgiving comes, that's not about to be a mandatory L. Like, that's going to be a good competitive game. You understand what I'm saying? So my bad, Gary. You know what? This is the time, Gary. I'm speaking to you right now. That you are a 100% Lions fan. Go on ahead and put the Jaguars to the side, because they ain't looking right now. Go ahead and be 100% with the Lions, yo. Congratulations to you, bro.
Well, number one, the only thing to add to that, on the Lions side of fanhood, if you've been a Lions fan for a couple of years, you're a true Lions fan. If you go back a little bit, so I don't know too many fake ones of those. And Browns, you might see them come on now. But yeah, they've been there. The only thing to add to what Earl was saying is they're also doing this without somebody that should be coming back now because of the change in the rules.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the guy Jameson Williams or something, the wide receiver.
Yeah. Yep.
So now he's going to be playing.
Yeah. It's two. It's a receiver and I think an offensive lineman.
Yeah. So that's going to be a difference maker too. Gardner's out for the season. That's going to hurt. But I mean, I just think it's the belief factor that has changed. You know, we talk about the Deion effect, but that mindset is huge. And they're playing not just to be competitive, they're playing to win, and there's a difference. Beforehand, if you see teams change around that's always been losing, it's like, oh, yes, great, we won. No, they expect to win when they get on the field. There's a difference. There is a difference. So I could say that has really changed. And then once they tap into Gibbs, with Montgomery being back, because Gibbs is different.
He is.
I told y'all after that first game, I was like, what is going on?
He got different gear.
Yeah. Another team, I know we're not on them, but the same thing with the whole thing with Gibbs, and we're just like, man, once they unlock him, it's going to be different. It's the same thing that I was saying about old boy at Atlanta. And I was like, they just need to use him more. The running back that came in, I forgot his name.
Come on, Bijan.
Bijan. Once you untap that potential, it's going to be something. But the belief factor is there, man. It is there. And then I love them because they got Hutch over there. And Hutch is one of my all-time favorites that ever played at Michigan. So, what you think, Shawn?
They showed you how to build a team, man. Simple as that. They showed you how to build a team. Gary said it best in there. Their former GM, like everybody who comes from New England, wanted to, they don't know anything else, which is okay. But they were trying to turn Detroit into a light edition or, scale down version of New England. You can't do that. You have to go in and build it right. They built their team. Their offensive line is one of the best offensive lines in the league. They got skill players over the deep. They built it right on both sides. They haven't really wasted any picks, and they turned that pick for Matthew Stafford, and they hit damn near on all of them. So they did it the right way. A lot of times, and this is a frustration that I have, and you guys probably have as well, but I know I definitely have it in Washington. They went so heavy on one side of the ball that there's so many pieces you obviously are missing in critical spots. They didn't do that in Detroit.
Line.
Yeah, they offensive line, linebacker, like there are levels to Detroit. And they have a more than competent quarterback. Sometimes Jared Goff, he makes me mad because he makes those brain fart decisions, like the unnecessary interceptions. Because I thought watching that game, I'm like, all right, y'all got it. And he threw that interception. I'm like, come on, man, don't go Jared Goff on us. Don't go, don't go the LA Ram guy who got traded out of there and shit. Don't do that. But that team as a whole, their coaching staff, is doing great. They have a lot of former coaches on there. Is Deuce still on that squad, Gary? I'm not sure. I know he was in Philly for a minute, but I don't know. Did Deuce Staley, is he on the Detroit squad? I feel like he was, but maybe I might be wrong. But I know their secondary has gotten better. That was one of their weaknesses of last season. They just doing well, man. And they expect to win. I think to when you guys point, they go into in there and you gonna have to put up points. Like they're gonna get pressure. Aiden Hutchinson is a beast, bro. Like he is an animal, man. And he has good rhythm too. I ain't gonna lie. He doing a stanky leg on him. They just out there be cutting up. He is a beast, man. I love it. I love it.
No. Let me stop you there. What? I don't know what the hell that was, but he had caught a sack, and I wanted to address. I was going to tell this guy he caught a sack, and I don't know what he was doing. He's definitely not. He's definitely not.
Don't say that word.
Okay, he's definitely not Travis Kelce.
I love it.
He's definitely not Travis Kelce.
You might be right. Yeah,
I don't know what he.
Is that Travis Kelce before the porn stash, or when he had the temple?
No, this is Travis Kelce now. Like with Taylor.
He is at Carolina.
Fair enough. Right. Okay, so on the other side, and this could be any team because I thought after watching these first 3 weeks, we saw a lot of teams that we were like, okay, that's who they're supposed to be, and a lot of teams were like, not so much. The Packers, they are who everybody thought they would be, but not as bad. There's still some growing pains for Jordan Love, quite a bit. But Matt LaFleur is showing that he kind of misses Aaron Rodgers. Perhaps because you would think that they have two good running backs in Green Bay. I don't know why they don't use them more. I'm confused. Anybody want to clear that up for me? You got both of them back there.
They're trying to force Jordan Love on you.
Yeah, why? I don't understand. Like, especially when you playing in a climate where it is Green Bay. I know they're used to the weather, but it was a nice evening. But they're forcing Jordan Love to do things that he's not all the way comfortable with yet. Yeah, he's sat on the bench for 3 years, but for all intents and purposes, he's a rookie hitting that field for the most part. He hasn't played but a handful of games, if that, and it showed. It showed. And then when his head got to spinning, and you see the guy sitting on the sideline looking at that tablet, they ain't really looking at nothing. They just looking at the tablet, but they just looking at it down because they
know the camera's on them.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it look like I'm studying, bro. We know. Me and my son said the same thing. He's like, we knew you threw the pick, bro. We knew it.
Well, I will say I'm not looking down on Jordan Love. I think he'll be okay. Right. Being the fact that this will be his first full season starting wise.
Yeah.
But and they're suffering with a lot of injuries out there in Green Bay. But this is the way that I'm telling you, once you see him kick in the gear, that's why most of these quarterbacks really need to sit behind someone. Even if they're not great, like just somebody that's been in the league, knows the nuances and things like that, because there's a maturation factor that goes into it. That's why I said I don't fear too much on the Jordan Love side. I think he'll be all right. The hardest thing for him is following up a legend.
Two legends.
That's going to be, trying to get out of a shadow, So that's going to be the hardest thing for him. But I think they'll be okay. Maybe not this season, but I think they'll be all right.
You know what? I mean, Dave, you're right. And I think, with the past 10 years, a lot of these quarterbacks haven't had the luxury of being able to mature. Like they come in and it's like they expected to start. You know what I'm saying?
And on a horrible team.
On a horrible team. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that's what kills their careers. Like you look at like a Sam Darnold. You look at like a what's the kid from the Jets right now?
Zach Wilson. He's even
still, there's a bunch of people that has fell into that realm. Those are just the ones that I could think of.
Yeah, I got you.
But there's a bunch of people that fell into that realm, and it's like, they might have been, not to say that they was gonna be great, but they might have been better than what they was if they was able to mature, you know what I'm saying, and follow up behind somebody. Now, the luxury of Jordan Love is that he actually had a Hall of Famer that he could learn from and things of that nature. But I just feel like on the coaching side, the coaches dropped the ball, because I also felt like they should have put him in the game during some moments. Maybe some of them times when they was blowing them out, or maybe like get him in on the second down or something like that. Just kind of how they even use what's my man, Tyson Hill. We know when he come in, we know he's running the ball. But I mean, just get him kind of acclimated, or even let him play with the ones, you know what I'm saying, in practice, so he can get acclimated to what that feels like. But they didn't take advantage of him. So now he's looking like a rookie. You know what I'm saying? He's looking like a real rookie. And I think he will. I did see spurts like during that Bears game. So like he does have the potential. But it's just I would just say the learning curve is a little bit longer. It should have been shorter because he actually was able to fall back, but it's a little bit longer because I blame that on the coaches.
Plus, you got to also remember he wasn't in the exact situation of sitting behind somebody that was teaching him.
Well, yeah, that's true.
If you remember the situation.
But again, that's what I'm saying. Like I blame that on the coaches and how Green Bay set that up, because if they set it up in a way, if they set it up in a way where it was like, you know what, we're not trying to replace you, but they was blatant about it. It was just like, now as Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, I'm not about to help you. Like, you the person they brought in the bro. Like, get out of kick rocks.
That's a conversation starter, Gary. I'm not giving that up. What you do? I own part of the Packers. That's great. A lot to you. Make me feel good about myself. So somewhere else, man, that under this same segment, because it brought to a lot of questions about players and teams that you had your thoughts on them. So they are who they thought they were. So we know who the Lions are and the Packers are, but one of the biggest upset of the weekend had to be, last week, was that Dallas Cowboy Arizona Cardinals game. And there's two questions here. They are who they thought they were. Let's go with the lesser of the two first. The Cardinals. They were being kicked around. They were being kicked around the first couple of weeks for tanking, and even I said the same thing. But if you look at it, they played 2 tough games against our respective teams, which both of them they should have won both games. To be perfectly honest, with a team that no one gives credit for, I think Connor is the one that you really talk about. But you got Buda Baker and those guys. But you look at their squad; they got a pretty competitive squad. Joshua Dobbs, they give him a lot of flack. That was his first start this season. Like this, he hadn't played before then. From what I read, but they go in. They're like what was the spread on it? It was like 13.5, 14 points on that Dallas game.
12.5.
Yeah, and the score doesn't show it, but for all intents and purposes, they beat the shit out of Dallas physically.
So you know what it is. I think one, we disrespected the Cardinals, and I'm saying we.
We absolutely did.
Not saying us. I mean, we did, but I think just NFL fans disrespected the Cardinals because the Cardinals are in probably the best spot because they have nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, you play looser when you have nothing to lose. And they're doing this with a backup quarterback, Dobbs, right. And honestly, their organization disrespected Dobbs because I don't know if y'all seen this. I seen something on IG where he went into the Cardinals fan store to try to get a jersey, and his name wasn't even listed in the in the system. So he couldn't even make it on.
That's crazy. Well, they didn't shit. They just signed him right as the season started.
Still
because he was he was on Cleveland's
starting quarterback.
Yeah, he was on.
That's
no third string. They ain't
even give him a key card to the parking lot. Nothing.
It's disrespectful. But honestly, they are fighting, and I'm gonna say this too. I can't really say that they was ever really tanking because ever since game one was against y'all, right?
Yeah.
That was a good game. You know what I'm saying? That was a dog fight. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't lay down and just.
Well, I think by them trading away the people that had, that's what people thought, and I thought they were taking because they were giving away vital pieces.
Well, no, I don't say. The organization might be looking to rebuild. I'm not going to say that they.
Well, yeah. Gotcha. Stay right there for a second. Stay right there for a second before you go off. I want to curb that conversation of tanking, because please believe, while an organization may have in mind the tank, none of those players and coaches are trying to tank.
Oh no,
because nothing is guaranteed in the NFL. So I want to put that out there. That's not scripted in a way where, let me throw this game. Because every single one of them can get going. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them. Coaches know that lifetime when people talk about Deion maybe going up to the NFL. Yeah, he loves the kids and coaching them. But the other reason is you don't have that longevity in the NFL.
Yep.
One bad season, you're gone. You are to blame. And it's the same thing with these players. So when we play with that tanking thing that's out there, realize that may be a sense of the organization. Oh, yeah, we want to get Caleb Williams. We want to get so-and-so. But none of those players are out there.
Tank, right. I'm giving Tank, right.
None of them are out there like that.
Ask Lovie Smith in Houston last year. He's like,
y'all remember the show, the movie Major League?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember the organization? Like the lady, like they was in there trying to tank. But the players was like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think like that's what you're saying.
I'm one step out the league.
Now I feel like the organization is probably like, wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute.
Y'all. Just like he was saying, as far as them trying to tank last year, you knew when certain teams were trying to do something.
Right.
But that doesn't mean those players, like Minnesota gave up on Dalvin Cook.
True.
Right.
You know, one of their best offensive players out there, and look at them. They're still
they don't know how to tank though. They just don't know how to get right because they still got too many good players.
They're like, oh shit. Well, this ain't gonna work. So those players, I just want to express the fact that when we use that word, it's an organizational thing. It is never a player coach thing because they know their jobs are on the line every single second.
Absolutely.
Now, on the other side, the team that everybody wanted them to be, everybody's beloved, not ours, beloved Dallas Cowboys who dominate the media. They are, I think, as far as we can, let me know if I'm wrong. They are who I thought they were. That's as simple as that. Like I never buy into the hype with the Cowboys. And not because I'm a watch. Yeah, I despise Cowboys because it's historical. But if you're looking at what we've been looking at for the last, at least the last 3 years, you see the hole where it is. And outside of coaching decisions and untimely forced errors, attention to detail and stuff like that, one of their biggest links, man, is their quarterback, man. If not their biggest, weakest link. Dak Prescott, man, in his own right, and I think we said it earlier, when no one's expecting a lot of you, remember, he got that job by Tony Romo getting injured. They bring in this 4th-round quarterback. He plays well, and, so forth. But now he's also, and if you look at it side by side, his career, maybe not stat-wise, maybe, I don't know, it kind of mirrors what Tony Romo did. They're competitive. They get all the hype. They should be this. They should be that. They may get some MVP votes here and there. And then towards the end, when Tony got injured and stuff like that, it started to fizzle. And things he started to do, happen. Or things happen that he started to do. And the same thing with Dak. You're starting to see that stars is kind of fizzle a bit. And that it's not going to be a big thing now, but that Trey Lance conversations will get bigger and bigger and bigger by the time you get to week 8 if they don't fix this quick, fast, in a hurry. What y'all got?
I feel like, my bad. Yeah, I feel like he ain't the answer either. But the offense, if you think about it, bro, for the past over 10 years, the weakest spot on the Cowboys have always been their quarterback. I really feel like their quarterback ain't been right since they had Aikman. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Romo wasn't it. Like, it's like you can get them to the playoffs, but it's like once you get in the playoffs, it's like you ain't that individual. You ain't that type of dog. They're saying you a regular season player. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Dak. Like Dak had one season. I think was it last season? What was the season he got
2 years ago? Before 2 years.
It was during the Giants game with his leg.
Yeah.
Like when he was throwing up crazy numbers. He was throwing up crazy numbers. But again, he's a regular season warrior. You know what I'm saying? It's just when you get to the playoffs, he ain't that guy. And I think the more and more you're saying it is exposing that. And the crazy thing is, it sucks because, and I hate to say this, but one, Dallas got probably one of the best defenses in all of football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 2, Dallas receiving core is pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? Their receiving core is pretty decent. You know what I mean? So and they have like a nice little balanced offense. But again, that quarterback play is trash. So the defense is who I thought they was.
Mm-hmm.
Then the offense is actually who I thought they were. Well, let me say this. Dak is who I thought he was.
I'm gonna show you something here. And it's just, we got 2 quarterbacks right here. Don't let all the numbers mess you up because it wouldn't let me do it how I wanted to do. You got 2 quarterbacks here. Respectively, they both roughly, you got 64.4% completion. Quarterback 2, 66.6. I don't like that number. Total yardage, this is career stats. 26,883 to 25,590. Okay. 161 touchdowns to 169 touchdowns. Roughly about the same. Interceptions, 73 to 66. And the quarterback rating. You want to know who number 2 is?
Who is it?
Dak Prescott. You know who number 1 is? Jared Goff. If you put them side by side, you would probably take either quarterback. But here's the difference, though. As much as, and even then, I have those moments when I look at Jared Goff. Jared Goff helped lead his teams to a Super Bowl, and actually has played well in the playoffs. Dak Prescott,
quarterback.
Dak Prescott, about 1,000 yards less career-wise. Numbers are pretty similar. They got, what, 2 playoff wins? And when he's gotten into the playoffs, we've seen what's happened. You saw what happened last week in the game where they did get out physicaled, if that's a name, if that's a such thing by the Cardinals. But he's that. So when everyone tried to put him in that top tier, bruh, they don't put Jared Goff in that top tier quarterback. So
let me put this out there real quick on the Cowboys, short and sweet, because I don't want to talk about them too long. It's kind of what Stephen A always expresses when he says it's not even just the Cowboys, it's the fans.
Yep.
That's the thing that gets me irked, because every single year they're the best thing smoking, America's team. Oh, this is going to be that year. You've been saying that for over 20 years and blah, blah, blah. This is what even Cowboy fans even have to admit, if you're a true fan. We could say whatever we want about Tony Romo. That team should have at least won a championship with that team. During those years, that team should have
line and everything else. Yes.
Won a championship. Dak Prescott, since he's been there, that team should have at least been in the Super Bowl. Maybe not have won, because Mahomes is going to stop a lot of people from winning.
Yep.
He's going to stop a lot of people from winning that are good. But they should have at least been in the Super Bowl. So when I hear all this stuff about Cowboy talk and all that type of stuff, fine. But don't sit up here and celebrate winning, say, the NFC East one of the years and stuff like that. Who cares? Our last 2 championships, Giants-wise, we didn't even win the NFC East. I don't even want to win it. Let us be the wild card and let us just kind of surprise everybody and stuff like that.
Yep.
The Eagles won last year and everything like that, but I guarantee you they would switch if they were like a wild card, but they won a championship, because that's what it's about when you get to these levels. The Eagles don't care about these certain things. They want to win the championship. That NFC championship is even to the side. We want that whole Super Bowl. We want the whole thing, because that's what they expect of their team. Yeah. They always sell themselves short. The Cowboys are just happy to be there. Like, we're an American team. We're always going to live up to it.
Because at the end of the day, and thank you for saying that, Dave. It was so eloquently said. But let me wrap this all up. It's because they have a losing mentality. It's a loser mentality. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all Cowboys fans, y'all can take that how y'all want. Y'all celebrate regular season, and y'all get hyped for the regular season. You get hyped about winning the NFC East. You get hyped about kicking the Giants, all the time. Like, you get hyped about that, but like, you don't have the right mentality. Like I said, like, I would love to just be a wild card team and fight my way through it, because we don't have no expectations. You know what I'm saying? And we got a different type of fight, because nobody's expecting nothing of us. So now you're not going to put the same attention into us. Whereas if you win a conference and you've been dominating all regular season, you got to hype everybody, or at least y'all, and everybody's expecting y'all to do X, Y, and Z. And that's what y'all been living off of for 20, 30
teams that expect more of their team. The Eagles expect more of their team. They want to win the whole thing. 49ers, I guarantee, going into the season, it's Super Bowl or bust.
Absolutely. After last year,
hell yeah. The Chiefs, Mahomes mentality, you heard it right after the Super Bowl, and they did their celebration and stuff going into the season. They're like, that year's over. Yep. That season's over. We need to win again. That's it. They expect more of their squad. They're just happy to be there. Yep. They're happy to be in the conversation. So that's why I said short and sweet.
To put a bow on this, man, so let guys let you know, the Cardinals will win a few more games. They are currently ranked number 7 in the league in turnover differential. That's how you win games. If you turning the ball over, absolutely.
Wait, though. You can't get off of this topic. Put it back up there.
Uh-huh.
You can't do this, even though I don't know if he's on here, Jay, without saying they are who we thought they were.
And I got one more, but I'll let you finish.
Did we not just see a massacre?
Yeah.
You saw the meme I sent down when the fan is trying to go up the stairs. and every single second they're scoring, and he's missing it every time.
And
like,
I personally want to thank Miami because the way that they beat up on the Broncos, it made our loss look normal. So I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, it was. They absolutely. I guess the biggest question always surrounding that is just health. It's the only thing you got to worry about is health with them. But yeah, if you're putting up points like that, and the way that they're doing it, because they aren't just throwing the ball, they're running the ball. Like they are winning, and it's at this point like you have the players on your defense to keep up with our fast guys, and they ain't just like field fast. You got one of them who's a track star.
No. There's just like 4 track. At least 4 of them runs between a 4.1 and a 4.3. Like it's not fair, and I don't think people understand. My bad, I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
I don't think people understand like how talented and how scary this team
wasn't
is.
on the field.
And Waddle,
on the field.
Waddle, Ramsey, like Jalen, like they not even fully healthy yet. You know what I'm saying? Actually, no, I'm lying.
Quarterback injury is sick.
Waddle was active. He just didn't get he just wasn't. He wasn't getting targeted. He was.
You know what's crazy? Typically, when you see guys like that, historically, where they're that fast, like look at I think it was John Ross and those guys like that. They were all like crazy fast, but their hands weren't. They weren't always consistent. Nah, these cats they complete. And 2, they're so fast that you don't have to worry about things like throwing up like a deep ball or something like that. Because Tyreek has shown plenty of times, even when he was in Kansas City, he can go up and get it. Like his athleticism is crazy. Mostert, they're running back. All those guys run like sub 4.3, 4. It's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
And Waddle didn't play last week, Earl.
No. I could have sworn he was active.
Nah, he was in concussion protocol.
Yeah,
he just cleared.
It's bananas, man. It's and say that Sean Payton might be who we thought he's not, because that team looked all types of bad. Like overall, you might want to take back that Nathaniel Hackett comment that you made, because saying that was the worst, loosely quoted, that was the worst offensive coaching job he's ever seen, something like that. Bro, your team just got boat raced all the way around. At this point now, I feel like they just quit. They don't believe in your quarterback. They stopped playing, bro. Like it's just bad.
They beat them so bad. This last week, Russell Wilson was out there with his wife and everything, taking pictures and video of him at a museum or something like that. Like he wasn't even worried about football.
They put the backups in for Miami and they kept scoring. That's how you know it's a good day. When you put the backups in and kept scoring. And I say that because I know before we move on, I know G Fish up here with it.
Who's the backup?
Who is the backup? Who's the backup? White? Yeah, right. Damn Jets. Damn Jets. I say this because I know G Fish is up here. We had a game like that. We played our backups in our team because we put our points and they kept scoring. I was like, bro, we're not trying to score. They just doing what they doing. That gotta be Mike McDaniel, man. So somebody said something about fans, man, and we're going to get to a very serious topic, and we're not going to be on it long.
Check out his discussion on Pivot, by the way.
Absolutely.
Mike McDaniel. Good.
There's been a lot of fan fighting going on in the NFL, and this has been something. It's happened for years. I've been to the old veteran stadiums. I've seen things that go down there. You know, I've been in the stands where there's been like at times the Redskins got in a fight with the Eagles, Dallas fans, Giants fans. They're pretty cordial. I've never seen a fight during a Washington, New York Giants but there's been a lot. But now I don't know if it's more of them because of social media or if there's really a problem. Because I know in some stadiums they've stopped selling alcohol after the third quarters. And I feel like it's going to get to a certain point that they're going to stop selling alcohol after the first half. There was a fan.
No, they're not.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing
with
the NFL. Here's the thing with the NFL, though. The NFL, they will do things that are knee-jerk reactions to help protect the shield. And when you got things like a fan dying at a stadium after a brawl, so it was during the Dolphins-Patriots game, and an older gentleman, he ended up dying. He already had like some medical issues, but he got into a fight and he ended up dying in that game. I'm at that game. It's all actually after fact as a cause of that. There, do you have the situation that happened in San Fran and Vegas? And it's happening a lot. I guess we may be prisoner of the moment because everybody has a damn phone. But you can even go back to, I want to say, a few years ago when one of the players in Washington, his mom actually had beer poured on her, which was kind of crazy. It's stuff like that, man. I mean, it's always a few that make it bad for everybody else. But what y'all got?
So do I think it's crazy in certain stadiums more than others? Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Do I think things are getting out of hand? And that's across sports, period, not just NFL. Do I think things are getting out of hand? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to put this in front of you real quick. Money, safety.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which one do you think the NFL is going to pay attention to?
Money.
Every single time. They can put out statements. They can put more
security.
Those type of things out there. But if you're telling me the people that are sponsoring the NFL, like these beer companies and things like that, are going to stop, say at halftime and go a whole half, not going to happen. Not going to happen, man. That sounds good, but it's not going to happen. I remember when they were fighting the fact of the
third quarter. Yeah, well, after the third quarter, actually.
After
the third
quarter.
No,
that's what I'm saying. They were arguing the fact for the fourth quarter. But so I just don't see it.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree. Like, this was even the fact that they even stopped the sale of alcohol after, what was it, halftime or the third quarter?
Third quarter.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the most they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not, but fighting has always been around. Fighting is almost ingrained in the sport, just like fighting is ingrained in hockey. It is what it is. Only thing that you can do is just add more security. Because even, I'm gonna put it to you like this: even if you didn't sell any alcoholic beverage in
people
the
gonna
stadium,
fight.
People gonna fight because you drinking in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? You might have had a couple glasses, a couple beers before you got there. So it's like you can't stop that. You know what I'm saying? And honestly speaking, if you took that out, you're taking away the experience. I just think at the end of the day, you have some fan bases that just OD more than others, and there's other ways of curbing that. There's definitely ways of curbing that. Like, I think if they started, instituting like some fines for people cutting up at these games, I think people would chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I'm not saying that people got to get arrested, but I think also too, it depends on the nature of the incident. But if they put some fines in there, people would chill out because people know how to act. They just get loose there. Like, I've been to more games than I can count. You know what I'm saying? I've never had an issue. I've never had an issue, and I've been in many different. I've been
and there's a difference between talking shit and being disrespectful.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
I talk shit all day.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's a part of the game. But you know what I'm saying? And I've been I've been nice and I've been sober, and I've never had an issue. Now, have I seen it? Absolutely, because you see people cross lines and boundaries, especially when you're talking about when you have kids there, you have women there, and I think that's when lines get crossed because it gets disrespectful, and this is another reason. I hate to say it like this, but this is another reason why I don't like Philly fan base, because they are disrespectful. It don't matter who you are, like they have no chill. And it's like, at some point it's like, listen, it's just a game. Like, don't take it to the realms of disrespectful when you violate people, kids, and the women and their family. Like, it's OD. But that's another reason too why I also feel like they might want to also like change the parameters of who they let in the game, because I also feel like kids at a certain age shouldn't be allowed to go to the game. Because of the stuff that happens in there. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like kids should. Now, I know they play and it's supposed to be like a family, environment.
Yeah, but that ain't.
But that ain't
it. Sport, man.
It's not the NBA. Like, you ain't about to see no fights in the stands at the NBA games. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same type of situation. The only difference between the NBA and NFL is that there isn't really any tailgating. Ain't nobody tailgating before an NBA game. You know what I'm saying? And then two, the type of sport, like it's the NFL is a barbaric physical sport. NBA ain't a physical sport. You know what I'm saying? So that's all.
I got a serious question though. How nice can you get if you show up with 4-ounce Corona bottles?
Take the whole case myself. Earl know about that. All right.
No.
He don't want to get no comment to that.
This is the Hot Team Podcast, which is football talk streaming live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook.
Size matters.
Oh my!
You know
God,
what? When we go to the game, I'm gonna make sure I bring some 4 ounces just for your ass.
First of all, let's run that. Let's go ahead and let's pull that. Let's reel that in because that had so many pauses into it. I don't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Mouse at the Palace, but that's because you know he was out there. You know, pre-meta world peace was out there. He was not peaceful at all.
Yeah, don't put that on him now. Don't put that on him.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, man. So let's go ahead. We know what you guys come in here for, man. Let's go ahead and jump right into these actual picks.
Oh, wait. No. Hold up. Before you even go into this.
Wait a minute.
Can you put we are who we thought they were? Could you put that back up there?
Right.
Yeah, because what we not about to do is we not about to run over this because I had said this last week and we got to bring Mr. Shawn to the front of the congregation. Okay. So like I said last week, your beloved Washington Commanders, when we said when we was like 2-0, are they real or are they fake? And if y'all remember, I said I'm not saying that I don't believe that they're real yet, but I'm not gonna say that they fake either. And I said the reason being is because I want to see what they do with some formidable talent. I want to see what Sam Howell does against a formidable team. Because quite frankly, no disrespect, they played the Broncos, and you saw what happened with the Broncos last week. They got mollywopped. I'm gonna give them respect for the Cardinals because the Cardinals put up a fight. Like the Cardinals been fighting. But in terms of on paper and the expectations with the Cardinals, ain't nobody expect the Cardinals to be what the Cardinals are right now. You know, so they ain't really, and they was playing the backup. Mm-hmm. Now they actually had to play the Bills, and you saw what they did with the Bills did with them. We had 4 INTs. Like I almost felt like what's my man from Rocky IV? You know, when he was like, "Yo, throwing the damn towel." Like I kept saying that meme in my head, like just throwing the damn towel. So again, like I'm not saying that y'all are fake, but I am saying that y'all ain't real right now. You know what I'm saying? How is still arguably like he's still a rookie in my eyes. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
He's still a rookie. He's kind of like in the same boat of Jordan Love without the development. You know what I'm saying? So it's like before y'all put all your eggs in that basket, like I really feel like, you know, y'all need to see how he progresses. You know, the good thing is he does have talent around him. Your defense, your front four is crazy. You got Chase Young back, but I feel like the weakest part of your team is your quarterback.
All right, so real quick, actually, I don't think that's the weakest part. The actually weakest part of the team will actually probably be the linebackers, to be perfectly honest. Their linebacking core. But I'm
talking about in terms of like aspect, like in like defense, offense.
No, really, that is the weakest part of that. If you watch that front seven, for any good team to know, if you have a formidable front seven and they getting upfield and you don't have that linebacker core behind to back them up, tight ends going to give you a problem. Those short routes going to give you a problem all day. And then if you got them playing stuff like coverage, stuff like that. But the last week, the weakest link, Sam Howell, you can see the numbers, but the weakest link last week, I thought, as much as I love his sound here, I thought was Eric Bieniemy and his decision not last week. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm sorry.
His decision not to adapt to the situation, because even though you look at the score itself in its totality, at the beginning of the game, that first drive down, they held the Bills to 3 points. I'm saying, you know what? We actually might got something going. And then what happened was they fell in love with the pass so much. And I don't know if he thought, well, maybe he'll pass his way out of it. And then when you start to see your young quarterback's head spinning and you got a stud running back and a secondary stud and they don't utilize them and you're keeping your offense, your their defense out there too much, it was a recipe for disaster. And then at that point, now your quarterback's like, I just got to make a play. I got to make a play. And you start making dumb decisions. Last week, I think Eric Bieniemy got caught up into thinking that, you know what, we can get out of this. And it kind of came home, and you put that into the inexperience of a Sam Howell, and then it was a bad recipe all day. So
But
I don't think
also,
that point scored that. So,
but I also think it's kind of a corny cop out to just blame Eric Bieniemy, because at the end of the day, Eric Bieniemy wasn't on the field, and Howell's decision making was very poor. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, like,
he was sacked 9 times, by the way.
Okay, all right, but my thing is too, is just like, at the end of the day, you have to put some of that blame on on Howell. Because, like, and then too, I understand, Eric Bieniemy could have made some adjustments, could have ran the ball a little bit more. But when you also get to the point where that deficit is growing, you know what I'm saying, and the time is running out, you got to make up that time. Running ain't going to get you them points real quick. You know what I'm saying? You got to pass.
Since we're talking our shit about certain things that we said last week, real or fake. Sorry, Eric. I told you about them Ravens.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fact. That's a fact. Against a backup,
I ain't even got to talk no more. Just I told you.
And you know what? Let me not say this, because Gardner Minshew should be starting somewhere.
He's not the regular backup.
Yeah, he's not.
Yo, they need him in New York, bro. Like,
no,
that's what I love him.
I think
was he in New York? Was he in New York at one point?
Nah,
I think he was in Indianapolis, but
I forget. I was talking to somebody. I was like, they should have made a trade for Gardner Minshew. But I'm still mad that the Jets let White go to Miami. That was the dumbest thing. Like, I would have traded Zach Wilson. Now Zach Wilson, you can't even trade him.
When you hear him talk, he don't even believe in himself.
Nah.
It's so sad. But come on, let's get to these picks.
Let's go to get to the picks, man. Let's go ahead and go and get to these picks real quick. So last week, Dave is.
Come on now.
Jesus Christ.
Let's get it. Talk to me.
12-4 last week for Dave.
Where we at?
He's extending that lead, man. 33-15 overall. Earl coming in 10-6.
Turn my mic up.
27-21. I give him 9-7, 25-23. Appreciate Eric, Jay, Malik, Gary, man. All with their picks. With Eric and Jay, man, coming in 11-5. Malik and Gary coming in at 10-6, man. It's a good week. It's a good week. It was a interesting week because, I think a lot of people who was on that. I wonder how much money was lost on that Dallas-Arizona game.
Yeah, you made that pick.
I absolutely, because that was the one good thing that I made last week. But let's get it going, man. What's the score on that Jacksonville game right now?
Don't look at it because you gotta.
No, the current game is going on right now. It's Jacksonville.
I know, but aren't we picking it?
17-0. No, you can't pick that one. 17-0.
Yeah, it's 17-0 Jacksonville.
I'm about to say I didn't even look at it, but all right.
Okay. Jacksonville, what's crazy? They might be getting closer and closer to making it their home. If y'all guys hadn't heard, the Jacksonville Jaguars might be the first NFL team to end up being relocated outside the United States. This is wild. So, I guess we should have picked this earlier. So that's the game that's going on right now. So as of right now, unless something changes, the Jaguars are going to end up winning this game. Up 17-0 overseas right now. Let's go to what should be a good game, but I don't think so. Dolphins at Bills.
I got Dolphins.
Hey, I got the Dolphins.
I got the Dolphins in this game. Because if they're forced to try to keep up with Miami, you're going to see a lot of bad Josh Allen today.
Oh, he's going to be running a lot.
It is, Gary. And I actually read they were saying that it's being looked at and actually them moving. That's why down in Jacksonville, they aren't too. It's like the fan base is split on whether they should re-up their lease agreement with the stadium or something like that. So yeah, so Jacksonville can end up being the whatever that. Well, I don't know what you want to call them at that point. The British Jaguars. I don't know what you want to call them. Malik got the Fins. Gary got the Bills. So if they get a lead on the Bills, Josh Allen will have to throw the ball, and there's gonna be some mistakes happening. So it's gonna be a problem. struggle game. Vikings at Panthers. Hey man, somebody call Jamar Chase, bro, and see if they can. Not Jamar Chase, but what's the receiver in Minnesota? Justin Jefferson. Yeah, somebody get that man out of Minnesota, bro, because he gonna swing on somebody. It's getting closer and closer each week, bro.
Get Addison out of there while you at it too.
Yeah, but this week it won't be this week because I think they will beat the Panthers this week. I got the Vikings.
Yeah, I got the Vikings too.
Hi, Daddy.
Yeah, Khan is about that life. Yes, he is.
All right, so everybody Vikings.
And watch the Panthers win. Watch this.
I think this is the end of the first quarter of the NFL. This is like the struggle week because you got right after that, you got Broncos at Bears. Jesus Christ!
My gosh.
Justin Fields said all they need is one game to get to right the ship.
They both are playing in some bad. Oh man, damn. I guess I'm gonna go with the Broncos, man, because they got beat up so bad. I guess they gotta redeem themselves.
This could be my one-off, man. I don't know why. I think Justin Fields gonna have a big game for some reason. Give me Chicago in this one, man. Go with Chicago.
All right.
I think the confidence in Denver, like they don't believe in nothing. They don't believe in the quarterback. I don't think they believe in the coach. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, the hottest ticket in Denver is Dion.
And down in Boulder. Yep.
Yeah, in Boulder is Dion.
Ravens at Browns.
I got the Browns. Wait a minute, is Shawn playing? I know they said something about him.
Wow, what was wrong with him?
Gary said tie game.
Was up. Hold on.
0-0 tie game.
Shawn, they say questionable his shoulder.
Nah, I'm going Ravens. Who they back up?
I don't know because they traded Joshua. They got rid of Joshua Dobbs. Remember, he was on Cleveland's squad.
Where's Brissett at?
Washington.
Oh, he went to Washington.
Yeah, he's the backup.
Oh, then they need to start him.
Cut it out.
Shoot, I'll take him.
I got Cleveland in this game, man. I think the Ravens just got too many injuries, bro. And Lamar gonna have to do everything. And their defense is still arguably the best defense in the NFL. That being Cleveland. Yeah.
I got the Browns.
Yeah, I'm going Browns. Wait, you said Browns, Earl?
No, never mind, because I'm gonna go Ravens if y'all all going Browns.
All right.
You going Browns?
I got Browns, man.
All right, so I'm gonna go Ravens then.
Steelers at Texans.
Got Steelers.
I got the Steelers, but I got the Steelers only because of Watt. That's it.
Yeah, I think the defense carries them to a win in this one. I got the Steelers.
That's the only reason. I feel like they're gonna shake up their quarterback a little bit.
CJ Stroud is proving to be a better pick than what Bryce Young is right now. I don't know. The Panthers might have wanted to rethink that.
He went to a better situation than the Panthers too. So
he did. He got Browns. Gary got the Browns. That's what I'm saying, Gary. You won't be surprised with the Texans, but I think the defense will be a little bit much. Rams at Colts. I'll go with Colts.
Who's playing? Yeah, the Rams. I'm gonna go Colts.
I'm going with Rams. It's my one off.
Carry on them Rams. Buccaneers at Saints.
It's a good one.
It is. Divisional game.
I'm going with Saints.
I'm going with the Saints because they home. Oh, wait. No. I'm going with the Bucks because Carr not playing.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Carr's out, concussion protocol. I shouldn't have told y'all.
Oh, see, you shouldn't have. Shoot.
I got the Saints because I think their defense is a little bit better than what Tampa's is.
It's gonna be Jameis Winston.
I'll go with the Bucks. Nah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Where's my thing?
You're welcome, Dave.
I don't know. James will give you 1 or 2 games. Like you can't count on for a full season, but he'll give you that one game when he throw for like damn near 400 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Then he'll give you that game when he throw like 400 yards and throw 6 interceptions. So it's kind of weird. But I got Saints on this one though. I know you're in the chat, G-Fish. I know you in the chat. Commanders at Eagles. Got my Commanders. I think they bounced back this week after a very bad showing.
I got the Eagles.
I got the EAGLES Spiegels.
What y'all got, Gary and Malik? Malik's down with the Eagles.
All right, keep going.
Bengals at Titans. I don't know what to make of this game, man.
Bengals,
I got
man.
Bengals.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't believe the Titans. And the Bengals look like they finally got their shit together.
I see you, Fish. I know. First of all, we're gonna talk about that AI generated picture you got up there too.
That's tough though.
It is. Bengals at Titans. Titans, man. I got Titans. No, it was only me. He said he actually liked the picture. It's fine.
You said Titans, Shawn?
Yeah, I got Titans. It's a lot of weird teams here. This is one team that we forgot about, but I think we already knew who they were. Raiders at Chargers.
Chargers.
The Chargers who I thought they were.
Yeah, I take the Chargers too.
And then Brandon Staley gonna mess around and get fired at the end of the season. I got the Raiders winning this game. That's why you think. That's why we're gonna have what's the name? Is it Kellen? Is it Kellen Clemens? Is that the OC?
I couldn't tell you.
He came from Dallas, as I know, or whatever his name is. No surprise there.
Damn, he said it. Damn. But you can't take it back. No take backs. Keep going.
Patriots at Cowboys.
My hatred wants to go with the Patriots.
I got Cowboys.
But I got the boys.
I got Pats. Going with Patriots. Cowboys lose this game. Jerry Jones gonna lose his goddamn mind. I'm telling you that right now.
He already lost his mind.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Too late for that.
For nobody. Cardinals at 49ers. It was good for a week.
49ers.
I don't think they beating the 49ers, man.
I think they're gonna put up a fight, but
they'll put up a fight.
We're gonna chill out now.
Yeah, put up a
chill
fight.
out now.
Their best bet is to play keep away and force Brock Purdy to turn the ball over. That's the best thing. But Kyle Shanahan ain't gonna have Brock Purdy throwing like that either. So that's what I'm talking about. G-Fish. G-Fish got that. Well, this was a good game when they set it up. It was going to be Pat Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers. I know NBC just knew, boy, we got one for Sunday Night Football, Week 4. We got the great, I guess, the second, the coming of the new age guy, whatever you want to call it. And now you're going to get Pat Mahomes and Zach Wilson. God damn. I got Chiefs, man. I got Chiefs.
Same. Earl?
My bad. I'm going with the Chiefs, obviously.
Yeah, there's gonna be so much commentary about what Zach Wilson isn't, because I think it's gonna be a foregone conclusion that the Chiefs gonna win this game.
Malik, I'm missing a pick from you. Cowboys or Pats?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did say. Yeah, he feel like he probably should.
Yeah, I don't see it out there. I'm like,
Monday night game. Seahawks at Giants.
you got G-Man.
I got the Seahawks.
Very true. Any given Sunday, it just won't be this Sunday, Gary. It ain't happening for the Jets, man. I'm telling you.
You know what? Give me the Giants.
Oh.
I got the Seahawks in this game, man.
There's only one Monday night game?
Yeah, this week, yeah. Now we're back to regular scheduled program. we got the Manning cast is back. So, I meant to record that Toy Story joint today because I wanted to see how it looked for the game that's going on right now. Thursday night game, week 5. Bears at Commanders.
I got Commanders.
Yeah, I got the Commanders in that one.
Same. Deshaun Watson not playing today.
They just keep looking at that quarterback bill. It's like, I can't believe.
Yeah, I heard me?
Yeah.
Did I pick the Browns?
No, you picked Ravens.
All right.
I'm still gonna stay with the Browns.
Yeah.
So Dorian Thompson Robinson is the quarterback.
They trying to ingratiate themselves to the kids, Gary. That's all they do.
You talking about?
The Toy Story NFL game that they did at there. Trying to ingratiate themselves. Make it fun. It's football. And that's our picks, man. Our week 4 picks. No big exciting game except for the Bills Miami game. I think that's probably going to be the most watched game this week, to say the least. I don't see nothing else is really. Yeah, everything else is kind of be like, okay. The other one's going to move the needle. They probably got Tony Romo and what's the name on the call. Matter of fact, did y'all see Tony Romo last week when he were covering the I think it was the Jets game, and I thought Tony Romo was going to come through the screen because he was yelling. It was like, throw the ball now. It was, throw the ball. It was like you could see him like losing his mind with Zach Wilson, man. I was like, hey man, they got what they got, man. They got what they got. I don't know. We didn't on the 8th. There's another one. There is another. We'll pull that one up. We'll make sure we give our pick ahead of time for next week. For that one on the 8th in this case, man. So of course, man, this is the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure you tap in for the newest episode of the Hot Seat Podcast. Currently now on all of your podcast platforms and YouTube as well. And then, what you got, Dave?
Real quick before getting out of here,
next week.
Happy heavenly birthday to my mother-in-law, Miss Faye. Just want to send those blessings up there. We'll definitely represent you today and every day that we do. So, no, not changed mood, but definitely happy birthday to you. Absolutely, man. Oh, you guys have a good Sunday. Enjoy yourself. It's kind of like a regular Sunday, back to what we regularly do. See what some good football come on. We had a good movie night last night. That was pretty awesome. I will see you guys tomorrow morning for the Morning Hump live on AMP at 6 a.m. Give my recap of stuff that's going on, stuff like that. Earl, you got anything?
No? Nope. Let's go Giants.
Here you go, man. It's the Hot Seat. Peace.
Hot seat.